sometimes going negative if there's good enough government incentives, or there's a good enough carbon credits producing project or something like that that you can plug into, then there's huge opportunities. But it's unlikely that a centralized company that's trying to build itself up to be large is going to go and find all of those opportunities around the world to the point where the company or organization is going to be big enough to be successful.
Next question, back there.
Yeah, all right, so I'm an excited shareholder, right? And
We thank you for your contribution. We thank you. We're going to pop bottles tonight on you.
All right.
So I love that you're going to be looking at new opportunities for free energy. And so when is your Dyson Sphere launching? Yeah. Can't say anything about it, don't. I don't want you to get anything.
I literally can't say anything about anything that we might possibly do in the future, besides my own thought leadership opinions on what people should technically do. But there are just a lot of huge opportunities, I would say, in the growth of new technologies in this space. You might have named one of them. And it is exciting to do not just be trying out new cutting-edge technologies, but also be doing regulatory arbitrage, because most of the time you're finding free energy not through new tech, but through the fact that you have found an opportunity zone or a new launching project that is producing just enough carbon credits and getting just enough kind of renewable energy credits from the local government, that actually the costs to you are negative. You're making money by using the energy, which is hugely exciting. And so I think those are obviously the best opportunities if you can get them. But they're few and far between, and if anyone here knows of any ones I should know about, please come see me afterwards.
Any more questions? Barry, I can't see you around the pole. If you're around the pole, I can't see you. You gotta come around the pole. We'll start with Barry.
I'm passing my question.
Come around the corner, my man, so we can see you, man. If I can see you, that way I can see what's going on. Yeah. Come on around the corner. Come on over here. It's okay. We don't bite. Don't worry about it. Say what's up.
Has the mining hardware market diversified from Bitmain at all? And if not, how do you mitigate the fact that your upstream supplier can just capture the full net present value in mining with the website price change?
Okay, so
Bitmain is the man.
So funnily enough, you might not expect this, but working with Bitmain is actually incredibly pleasant and equitable. They're not out there just ripping people off. In fact, if you sign a contract for a higher Bitcoin price and the price of Bitcoin goes down, they take money off of your bill because the price of ASICs is directly correlated with the price of Bitcoin in the market. So when you get machines about to be delivered and you're about to pay your next payment, they'll say, hey, you actually owe us 2 million less than you were supposed to. And that is kind of amazing. So in general, it's not technically good for them to plug in all of their own machines because they're not selling their machines to themselves. So they have to be competitive in the market. Obviously, they have the largest market share and are probably the world's largest Bitcoin mining company, but they're private, so they don't have to report. But you can see an ant pool where most of their hashing power is coming from and how large they are, and that shouldn't be surprising. But after China decided to push out the digital asset industry and make mining illegal, etc. and so forth, that all moved to the United States, and the U.S. is actually the largest Bitcoin mining country in the world now, despite Bitmain really having a hold over the production of these ASICs. But we're starting to see, because of the huge success of the Bitcoin mining industry in the United States, mostly because of regulatory clarity and enough states passing Bitcoin mining bills and the right to Bitcoin mine or protection and definition of Bitcoin, we're now starting to see that there are more projects popping up in the United States to be able to create ASICs. That is obviously still an issue of national security, and if you're not a company that probably has deals with the Department of Defense, you're not going to get your project through. But still, it's a point
You wouldn't happen to have a couple of those, would you?
it's a point of national security that the United States, that we would have the ability to produce those and not leave it all to TSMC, and not leave full, ASIC production to Bitmain as the main market competitor. And obviously Bitmain now has operations here too, which is cool to see them moving things over here. But I think in general, the dominance of Bitmain is for a reason. They were the first and biggest mover, but it's not something that is a forever thing when this is now, a multi-billion-dollar industry in the United States, just mining. So, billions of dollars of basic computers are being bought in America. It would be great if we could buy them from American companies from the perspective of the government.
Last question. I got more questions apparently. We'll come to you in a second. I know you got some smart shit to say. What you got over there back there?
Quick question is, what is like the overall market, whether it's the U.S. or global, just on mining itself, just for all the miners?
Well, I mean, that's hard to say because there's reporting parts of the market, and then there's non-reporting parts of the market. Obviously, we're about in a $1 trillion industry, so it's the Bitcoin network with people paying fees and those fees being redistributed to the miners, but it's all around $1 trillion+. Even though the Bitcoin rewards are going in half, that's still all within the network. But in the U.S., I would say we're getting to about $30 billion in U.S. public Bitcoin mining equities. In the U.S. alone, it might be a little bit more than that post-halving, but I think it should be around 30 billion, most of which is coming from, of course, Marathon and Riot. But there's about 12 other of us that are catching up.
Last question, Mr. Condren.
I'm keeping it simple. Are you guys looking internationally, any other countries that you focus on, and which ones would be your next move?
Countries where it's not nosebleed security risk would be probably first and foremost. You need to know that if you're going to be shipping tens or hundreds of millions of dollars of computers somewhere, that they are secure, that you have legal recourse for anything happening. Ideally, if there's not a huge import-export tax, great. And number one, that you can get good energy deals. So where there is little political risk. And I don't mean just places that are secure. We just said no to a beautiful deal with the cheapest energy we've been offered in a long time, but it was in Nigeria near Boko Haram, area.
Shout out to the Nigerian prince. Click that link.
Didn't seem like the one for a NASDAQ-listed American company.
So wait, how did you get the offer? You must have clicked the link then.
I wouldn't say it was a link, but yeah.
She clicked the link.
Anyway, and there's a lot of jurisdictions where the regulatory clarity on Bitcoin mining doesn't yet exist. So anytime something that's debated in like the European Parliament could mean that we would have to shut down operations and then move machines to another place. So I think until there's regulatory clarity in the EU, we're unlikely to be doing anything, in and around Europe for a little while. But I would say they're starting to become better security apparatus, better government incentives to go and do renewable mining all over Latin and South America, and safer African countries than Nigeria, and of course plenty of Asian countries that decided not to ban crypto mining. So that's, there's a lot of diversification of choice, and if it's safe, and if anything happens to your machines, that you have good local, legal, and kind of infrastructure and architecture to take care of those machines, that you're going to get low enough energy prices to want to ship them somewhere that you can't physically visit all the time, or you have a good enough team locally that you trust, then fabulous. But for us, as a company that was trying to go public on NASDAQ and get SEC and NASDAQ approvals, we figured the first easiest thing is to have all of our deployments in the United States. We've only been public for like 8-9 weeks, and so now we can start looking at diversification, not just of our jurisdiction, but also of our business.
So if you're listening, Mr. Nigerian Prince, resend the link. Now she can move overseas. That's Mr. Salas. What you got?
One more. So listen, I was at your event in 2020, Own Your Own Data in Venice.
So was I.
Morgan,
Amazing.
you were not there, sir. I would have recognized you.
I-
Is she
I-
there, girlfriend?
I didn't make it to the daytime event. I was at the other one.
Okay, all I'm saying
The one
is-
at Sari's house?
Exactly,
Yeah.
in Venice.
Yeah.
Next to,
No, I actually wasn't there. I'm lying my ass off.
It was
okay,
my
but
book
this-
launch.
But like Brittany,
I
like,
was
It
there.
was my book launch.
Yeah, no.
Brittany, in all sincerity, look, I've been like a politically agnostic person for like,
Liar.
shut up, bro.
Go ahead.
Please. You know, listen, like
I'm allergic to bullshit. I got the wrong color
Sir,
sneakers
please,
on.
just listen, let me ask this value creator here. Like,
Go ahead.
listen, like, Brittany, like, I was here, like, politically agnostic, like, my background is, like, financial analysis, right? Like, where are you in the political